Hello, everybody. How you doing? It's Damon yet again. And yes, it's a bit late, but I just came back from working out. So yeah, I'm kind of pepped up there. So I noticed that basically some of my rebooking videos get more views. So I'm going to do a rebooking videos. And I started WrestleMania rebooking series. And I thought, what if I went back to the first ever granddaddy of them all? What if I rebooked WrestleMania 1? And here's an added twist. What if WrestleMania 1 was 2 nights? That's right, I'll do that. And we have enough room for doing this. So, enough stars to do this. So, I've noticed some stars from the first WrestleMania or from the WWE at that time were not around that were actually active. I mean, you had George the Animal Steel, you had Tony Atlas, you had Don Morocco, you had Adrian Adonis, you had Bruno Sammartino, and yeah, that seems to be it. And I thought, what a waste. They should have been the first ever WrestleMania. I mean, Bruno was technically, but he didn't wrestle and he should have wrestled. So, my opinion is I would have made 2 nights, and yeah, WB probably would have liked it because it'd be 2 nights of 6 matches. Because I tried to make it 7 matches, but there's not as much roster as it used to be. So, without further ado, what will be my first match on the first WrestleMania, the first match of the first ever WrestleMania, night one? What would be the first match? I would have basically do half of the first opening match of WrestleMania. Yeah, the Executioner, Buddy Rose, the Big Leaguer would be the first half of the main of the opener. But who would be facing? Who would he be facing? He would face the Junkyard Dog. Now, people don't realize that basically Junkyard Dog was super popular back then, and he was very popular. But at the same time, I mean, he was getting a bit out of shape there. So I feel like he needed a prominent spot in the top in the opener to put him over there, but I felt like Junkyard Dog was a great Valentine, had no chemistry whatsoever. So I felt why not use him in a different spot, have him in the opener, like a 5 minute match, Junkyard Dog wins. You get the crowd happy from the get-go. Second match, I keep the same. Have King Kong Bundy squash SD Jones. So that's fine. That's fine. Third match. I will make sure for the third match, what we have here. Sorry. In the third match, I would have, sorry, I'm just looking at my notes. I would have Pedro Morales take on Morales take on Adrian Adonis. I'm not sure if I want Adrian Adonis to win because Pedro Morales was just IC champion 2 years ago. So I don't know what I would do here, but I feel like it'd be better off if basically we have uh, Pedro win. I mean, it doesn't have to be basically you can run it back later on, and that'd be fine. So that would be this. Then, what will be our next match? We need a title match. So I would have the Intercontinental title match right here and be Greg Valentine defending against Tito Santana. Tito deserves so much better from WWE. I mean, it's incredible that he has the biggest the longest losing streak at WrestleMania. That I mean, even Asuka didn't lose as much as WrestleMania. And guess what? Even her should have basically win at one point. And Tito Santana had to win it first, but it's like never really had a meaningful win at WrestleMania. And I thought I would break this on that night, on that WrestleMania. WrestleMania night one, fourth match, Tito Santana regains the Intercontinental title right then and there. Besides, in real life, he won it like 2, 3 months later after WrestleMania. Why not make it win at WrestleMania and have it a big time event? Likewise, the fifth match basically would be the same as in real life. Would be for the women's title, Leilani Kai with Fabulous Moolah defends against Wendy Richter with Cyndi Lauper, and Wendy Richter wins. The only caveat I would add is after the match, both. I mean, I would have Lauper basically knock out Fabulous Moolah just for fun. Because screw Fabulous Moolah. And what will be the main event of night one of WrestleMania 1? Let me banter and guess. I know Mr. T was really involved into basically building the building this, and I feel like I don't want Mr. T to wrestle. I want Mr. T to be a prominent figure, but I don't want him to wrestle. So what I would do is have Bruno Sammartino team up, team up in this case with maybe Superfly Jimmy Snuka because he was very popular there, versus the team of Paul Orndorff, Wonderful Paul Orndorff, and Don Morocco. And in this case, you would have a better finish than in uh, basically the WrestleMania 1 main event. You'd actually have a decisive win. And it'd be because of miscommunication between Don Morocco and Paul Orndorff, which sets up the Paul Orndorff's face turn and also sets up the next year's WrestleMania 2 match between the two of them. So Bruno and Superfly win because I know Snuka basically is an awful human being, but I felt like Snuka versus Morocco, because of their great cage match in the 80s, would be a great reminder, like an Easter egg in that match. And yeah, Bruno, I know, was semi-retired, so you have him basically lessen the load and just make it a tag match there. Because I felt like a tag match for one of the main events is okay, but it's okay for one night, not for 2 nights. So that'd be night one. Night two, I would start off with Steamboat beating Matt Bourne, aka the Future Doink. Like in real life, was very good. Next up, I would have Brutus Beefcake take it on. Uh, who else in the card that basically is missing? I would have Brutus Beefcake take on. Uh, oh, I don't really want to say Little Billy Jim, but yeah, let's have Brutus Beefcake against David Sammartino. So yeah, you can have it the same as in real life, except there's actual finisher. You can have actually Brutus Beefcake winning this case. Uh, then we'd have the World Tag Title match between the U.S. Express defending against the Foreign Legion of the Iron Sheik Baby and Nikolai Volkov. You can have, as in real life, the Foreign Legion win. Now we have basically the Body Slam Challenge. And back in the day, I just thought it was ridiculous to say if John slammed Andre, Andre would retire. It's like it felt like there was no way Andre was going to slam the mat. So in that case, I would have basically the body slam challenge start off basically have a body slam challenge before the match. Andre does slam stud, but it becomes a singles match, and Andre does win. So yeah. So now there's 2 matches left. So I felt like you could have Billy Jim versus George the Animal Steel. And due to miscommunication by Freddie Blassie, this is where you start also George Animal Steel's face turn. And there's the main event. The main event will be Hulk Hogan with Mr. T in his corner versus Rowdy Piper with Cowboy Bob Orton in his corner. And this is where Hogan retains the title. But not without chicanery. So you protect Roddy Piper. Basically, Roddy Piper cheating is using a cast of Bob Orton to try to win the match. Mr. T basically, upon seeing Cowboy Bob Orton seemingly knock out Hulk Hogan with the cast, interferes, punches out Bob Orton Sr., so basically he's out cold. But Piper just flat out takes a chair, knocks out Mr. T. Even Jimmy Snuka comes out. So, but out of the backstage area, Don Morocco and Portnoy arrive. And Don Morocco basically shoves Porndorf and say basically to help Roddy Piper nail Hulk Hogan with a steel chair. Orndorff, who doesn't like being ordered around, as no one wants to be, takes the chair, knocks out Don Morocco with it. He doesn't touch Piper. He says, "Do not do that. Not provoke him. Not provoke him." And leaves Hogan retain the title. And it also takes ways to Piper's Orndorff hatred. So that's how you get around to this. And I thought it would be a great two nights card of WrestleMania. You didn't need to have more matches than that. So those are my opinion. I would rebook WrestleMania 1. Let me know in the comments what you think of it. And please subscribe whenever you can. And have a great night.